Hello, it's me, John Rice, with JR and Josh from Spoken Word. How's it going, guys?
It's going well.
Oh, well. So, you guys, well, first of all, describe what Spoken Word is, just for the viewing public, in case they don't already know.
Well, spoken word is poetry performed, really. Members of our organization, we all write our own material, our own poems, really, and then we get on the stage and perform them, really, so that we can better show, I guess, really the emotion and really all the feeling that's within each piece that we write.
Very cool, very cool. And how does one get involved with the organization?
Well, basically, we meet every Wednesday at 8 in the BCC, and you can just come by and drop in and just check it out. Like, it's no fee that you have to pay. It's no minimal requirement. You can just show up and you can have something, or you can just be a listener, and that's pretty much. It's a pretty easy organization to get involved in, even if you don't write poetry.
Very cool. Just need to have the love of poetry. And do you find, like, for instance, do you have like a specific style of poetry that you do?
That I do personally. I mean, in terms of style, I mean, yeah, everyone has their own personal style because, like, I mean, each person is going to reflect, like, their own self is going to be reflected in their writing. I guess, I think my style is more reflected in the things I write about. I try and write about, like, people specifically and kind of like more micro level issues. Whereas we have some poets in our group who like to talk about more macro level issues, like societal issues. So yeah, I think a lot of the style is reflected in, like, what each of us talks about. I mean, we have some poets who, you know, write just love poems.
Just love
some
poems?
Who don't, like, ever write love poems. It's a good mix.
That's very good. Very good to have diversity. Are you a love poem man, or otherwise?
I mean, you know, I break out the love pen when necessary.
I got you. You got to melt a couple hearts out there in the audience.
Yeah, just a little bit every now and again.
Yeah, of course, of course. And so you guys perform amongst yourselves, but probably also around the public, right? You guys have an event coming up?
Right. Our next major event coming up is this Saturday, 7 o'clock in Surratt Cinema. It's called State of the Word. Really, it's really not just a Vanderbilt spoken word event, but it's really a Nashville community event. We're bringing in poets from different schools, different high schools, middle schools. Last year we had some professional poets come in and perform some of their pieces. So it's really a great diverse mix. And everyone who gets on stage, like, they can perform. It's always a great time in that, like, you get a good diversity, and you also you get to see a lot of talented performers in a single night. So
very cool,
yeah.
Very cool. And what's the vetting process like for that? Like, does everyone within the organization perform as well, or do you guys pick some of the best acts to put forth?
And what we do is we have an interest survey to see who's interested in performing, and from that group of maybe 10 or so, we put people together. We actually are featured twice in the show, and then 2 more times with people from other places. And so we have 2 pieces solely from Vanderbilt and 2 pieces featuring Vanderbilt people, the introduction and the conclusion. And that's really how the process goes. People write their own, they write the group pieces collectively, and then we have it go through a filtering process within the group before we put it on stage on Saturday.
Right, good. So there's a lot of original work going into the performance.
right.
Very cool. How long does that take to kind of set up, organize, and establish? Because that sounds like that would take a lot of time for creativity alone.
For our pieces, we normally like to have about 3 weeks, like one to write, another one to kind of edit, and another week to really get the whole performance down.
Right.
Because along with, I mean, you're not just getting up and reading a poem, you're really performing it. You have to know all the nuances and even though, you know, after you've written your own poem, you have a pretty good idea of what it's supposed to say. There's always ways to make it better, so we like to have that week to get it down. So actually, Josh and a few others are working on some group pieces that they're putting together. I'm actually going to be in the outro, so I'm working on mine as well. So
Very cool.
Yeah.
And what's it like working with with other people and writing because I read a lot of poetry of just people writing the poem singly themselves, but with like collaborating with other people, those other voices. How does that work?
Initially, it's kind of, I won't say rough, but it's just, it's a new experience because like you have to set up meeting times, you have to all agree on a theme. What helps us is the use of Google Doc because people on Vanderbilt's campus are so busy, and so we make Google Docs to say when you have time, you just write on this, and then the times when we are able to meet, we're able to sort things out that need to be sorted out. But it turns into a positive because it really builds teamwork, and you really start to trust people in an organization, and you get to a point to where that becomes second nature. Like the majority of the pieces that Vanderbilt Spoken Word does are group pieces because we have too many poets to just only send out individual pieces.
Right.
So it's very interesting. It's a collaborative effort, and obviously going to be a very exciting show. And you said it was at 7 o'clock. Do people need tickets?
Yes. Tickets can be bought for $5. We're actually not on the card this year, but we'll be out on Surratt around lunchtime on the wall. And we should be selling tickets about $5 a piece. So
$5 a piece out on the wall. So guys, be sure to have some cash on your hand so you can pay for it, right?
And you can also purchase tickets at the door.
At the door.
Right.
Okay, perfect. Okay. Well, awesome. Well, how about we give them a little bit of a taste of what they can expect to see?
All right.
You got something prepared?
I got a little something for the people.
Oh, that's what I'm talking about. Oh, I want to pick that one up. There we go.
There are those who believe no profit lives are not worth saving. Those who think the presence of poverty is the absence of work ethic. Those people have no grasp on what poverty is. This is for those using boiling pots for hot baths and then sharing that water with your spouse, your kids, your grandma. This is for those whose daily delicacy is white bread and tap water, working 48 hours a week and still having to choose between dinner and keeping the lights on. But those who know the illumination of this condition tends to make one lose its appetite, so you keep the lights on. You keep the door open, and you feed on your faith. This is for those who walk the path that our Savior chose, so people would know that whatever you do to the least of them, you do to him as well. Though in this Christian nation, we translate an eye for an eye to mean a blind eye to those who have not. A few billion resting in this institution is endowment. Over $100 million spent on renovating buildings, but the administration won't pay attention or living wage to its most valuable asset. This system is just modern-day feudalism, treating workers as if their competence is determined by their compensation, relegating the peasantry to menial tasks for limited means, while the lords and the vassals bask in the benefits of this land. It's time to rebel against this plantation, this educational facilities, ideologies of gentry. This is for those suffering from the bubonic plague of our day. The only difference is poverty was created and can be prevented by man. So stand for the demolition of this social hierarchy. Your voice will make you a cleric of this rampant injustice. Your actions will burn disrespect at the stake, hang, draw, and quarter every shred of inequality for people. We no longer stand for the old world order. We have warriors who will fight poverty to its death, even if the current system has to be sacrificed in the process. This is for those who understand Vanderbilt does not just belong to the lucky few, but to the humble servant as well. This is our Vanderbilt, and it's about time we took it back.
Very good, very good. So, I wish I could speak that way. Maybe Carly can give us a taste, but I doubt she'll be able to follow up on that. Sorry, I have to follow that, Carly. And thank you guys for showing up. I appreciate it.
Thank you.